Hi guys.
Hi there.
We are here today with the very first
installment
of our True Hollywood
Thursdays.
Boom. So,
Maybe episode.
episode. Let's go episode.
We'll go episode.
So, what did we who
did we decide to talk about? The one,
the
only
Aaliyah.
Yes.
If you guys are around our age, I'm sure you know exactly who Aaliyah is.
Oh my gosh.
She was a beautiful, wonderful musician, singer, dancer, actress,
model.
everything. Loved her growing up. Aaliyah had quite the impact on our lives.
Yes, I do remember growing up and listening to her music and watching her movies and just absolutely, like, I wanted to be Aaliyah.
So did I.
I loved her so
Oh my
much.
gosh.
I thought she was like the epitome of beauty. She
So did
still
I.
she still is, in my opinion.
She really is beautiful.
She was absolutely gorgeous, 100%. So, we're going to be talking about her today because she means a lot to both of us.
She really did. Where is my brush? So it is in the evening. So like we told you guys, we have been taking some time in the evening to practice makeup. So we are doing literal whole faces at night, trying to figure out if we know what we're doing.
Let's find out.
Let's find out while we talk a little bit about this True Hollywood tragedy of Aaliyah. All right, so Aaliyah was born January 16th of 1979.
Yes, two parents, Diana and Michael, or Miguel Houghton. Houghton. I think it might be Houghton.
Houghton.
Because of the A. It's spelled with an A. She has an older brother named Rashad, and they were extremely close. And she was born in Brooklyn, right?
She was born in Brooklyn, but raised in Detroit. She was super close with her brother. If you guys ever saw the MTV Music Awards where she won, she brought a dude up on stage.
That was her
That was her brother.
That was her brother.
Just to show you how close they were.
Yeah.
So she grew up, like we said, in Detroit, and she grew up in a family that was very inclined towards music.
Yes, she often talked about how she would hear her mom singing all the time, and that she absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I saw an interview with her brother where he said that Aaliyah essentially had the voice of an angel, and he would hear her singing all the time.
Yes.
Mimicking her mom, almost.
Yeah.
One of the things that I read about her was during school. She actually got a part in the play of Annie.
Ooh, yeah. And that was kind of like her first introduction into performing, acting, singing, and that's kind of what set off, like, sparked the fire in her. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to perform. She wanted to entertain, bring joy through artistic, like music and acting. And
spoiler alert, she did that.
She did do that, yeah. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. And then at the age of 10, which is such a tender little age.
Tiny little age, and oh my gosh.
She was so sweet. So
She's
cute
a
to watch.
precious little girl. She performed on Star Search. And
she sang, what's that song?
My Funny Valentine.
Yep.
It was her mom's favorite song.
Her voice was just so, so unexpected, like, so grown up.
Yeah, very grown up sounding, very, like, beautiful. She didn't win, however. No, she did not win, unfortunately.
The little girl that beat her, I think, got a perfect score.
Yeah, and she got, what, like 4.5?
No, the perfect score was 4. Aaliyah got 3.25. So she still did really well. That's a good score.
Yeah, that's a good score. And she had said that was actually, like, her first taste of a loss. And while she was very disappointed, it was also what kind of taught her that you can't, you're not always going to win.
Yeah, I mean,
things aren't always going to go your way.
It's so grown for a 10-year-old, but you know she was probably devastated.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she was.
I would have been devastated.
Absolutely, but
I have a 10-year-old. I can only imagine how devastated he would be.
Oh yeah.
So,
she did also, and I'm not sure if it was before or after Star Search, she did go on to perform with Gladys Knight in concert. That was her aunt.
That's badass.
That's so friggin' awesome. Like, think about what you were doing at that age. Like, that's nuts. I feel like that she was a 10-year-old who was way more accomplished than I am as a 32-year-old.
Yeah, that's craziness. So, at the age of 12, though, she was signed to her uncle.
Gladys Knight's husband, Barry Hankerson.
Yes, who He had a record label called Blackground.
I think it was an offshoot of Jive, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she got signed to them. So that's at the age of 12. I mean, granted, yeah, you could say that was her uncle who signed her and all that stuff, but still, you know.
I'm sure she was talented, obviously, and I'm sure, that was the
That probably helped a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But still, family got the hook up for her, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So she, age of 12, signed, started working on her first record. First record was released at the age of 14, and it was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Now, someone she met through that
Yes.
is the one, the only,
R. Kelly.
the infamous,
Infamous is a good word.
yeah, R. Kelly.
We may do a separate one of these on him.
Hell yeah, we're going to. Fuck that
Okay.
guy.
We're going to.
Did you guys watch the documentary, side note? That shit's crazy.
Like, no shit, right? That, like, I watched that thing and I was, like,
And then his interview?
infuriated.
Yeah, infuriation. It's just bubbled over. Anyway, yeah. So R. Kelly worked on that album with her as a songwriter, a producer. He helped her out. Age 14. That's it. Just a little baby.
Just a little baby. And
Because I
then
don't care what anyone says, 14 is young.
14, yeah. I mean, I think about it and I obviously thought I was grown when I was 14, but
Yeah, you know.
no, I know
No.
now. That's a baby.
That's a small child. That's only 4 years older than my own son. So, we could talk a little bit about the drama that came with that friendship.
Yeah.
But everyone, you got to give a little bit of credit where credit is due. Not only was she talented, but R. Kelly is a talented songwriter.
He's very talented. I will
So,
say that.
her album actually sold 3 million copies, and it went double platinum in Canada.
That's
So,
fantastic.
that's her debut.
As a
Which is
14-year-old to have
good.
a double platinum album, that's insane. So while this 14-year-old was, reveling in having a double platinum album,
Correct.
it is alleged that
Alleged.
a dancer walked in on her having sex with R. Kelly, and he was 26, 27 at the time.
Yeah. So I think she was actually 15 at the time when this
15?
happened. Yeah, so that one happened a little bit later. So, he waited till she was 15
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's more appropriate. But, so that's alleged. It's talked about in that documentary about R. Kelly. The dancer actually says that she saw her,
Yes.
saw them together. And there were always rumors, speculations, things along those lines. If you guys ever saw the interview that they did together with BET, oh my god, super creepy, super uncomfortable. They're asked what their relationship status is. Are they friends? Are they related? What's going on? And they're both just really coy about it. They're like, oh, we're just really close, best friends, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
I'm sorry, but the grown
no, you're
man,
not. No, you're not.
grown man being best friends with a
A
child,
child, not
no
cool.
thanks.
That's creepy in its own right. Even if they were just friends. Super creepy.
Yeah, super creepy. So after this alleged event, it was also alleged that she found herself pregnant.
Yeah. There was a discussion with a bodyguard that he said that R. Kelly may or may not have freaked out and thought that Aaliyah was pregnant.
Yes. Okay.
So naturally, when you, as a grown-ass man, are terrified that you have gotten this 15,
Impregnate
16,
a fucking 15-year-old.
what do? Oh,
You
you do
marry
the
her.
right thing. You marry her. Fucking scumbag. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Of
So
course.
he and Aaliyah allegedly snuck off and got married.
Yeah.
What city did they go to? I think it was Chicago?
It might have been, yeah.
I don't know. We'll leave that down below.
Yeah.
I can't remember it for sure. So allegedly they snuck off and got married.
Married with forged documents.
Yes.
And actually, the documentary had published a picture of the document, and it said that her age was 18.
18. This happened in 1994. That made her 15. Are you joking? Are you joking? Robert? Come on, man. So, again, this is all alleged. No one has ever fully confirmed.
Her
that-
family denies that it ever happened.
Yeah, no one has ever fully confirmed that it ever happened.
But I think that might have also been at the time sort of Lolita complex, and they didn't want her to be perceived as
Like a sexual entity.
yeah, like they didn't want her to take any blame for it.
But I mean,
which
no, she's blameless. She was a victim. But at that time, you have to admit that her music and the way that she was presented, whether that be through the producers and the albums and the record labels, they produced her as and presented her as a very sexual being, which I find a little bit disturbing because she's a child.
Yeah.
As a grown woman, you could do what you want. Doesn't bother me any. But as a child, no, I'm sorry, that's just not cool.
Yeah.
Now, eventually it's reported that the marriage did get annulled because the document was forged. But Vibe magazine, I believe, released a copy of the marriage certificate. So we'll never know if it was real or not. You know, Aaliyah's family's never going to confirm that. R. Kelly's never going to say he married a 15-year-old as a grown man. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe in his sick, twisted way, he thought he was doing the right thing because he knocked her up. Don't know for sure if she was ever pregnant, though.
Don't know for sure that she was ever pregnant, and so far as anybody can tell, after the alleged annulment, they lost contact. While all of this was going on, Aaliyah was actually, she had auditioned for the Detroit High School of Fine and Performing Arts she sang Ave Maria in Italian. Like in Italian, she sang the whole song.
The whole damn song, guys.
Like, that's talent right there.
That's crazy ass talent.
And while she was busy becoming a superstar,
super duper star,
she maintained a 4.0 GPA in high school.
Bruh, that's crazy.
She was an outstanding student because she felt like she did not want to rely on the music industry to. She needed a fallback. She needed something to fall back on. She was very smart about it. She did not believe that that she could just count on it to be her the rest of her life. She wanted to make sure that she had her education. Yeah, because that's awesome for me to hear that she's somebody. She was famous. She was making so much money, and I still need to go to school. I need to get my education.
Could you imagine being in high school with Aaliyah?
There was actually something about that with one of the counselors. He spoke about how the kids, because she also she took 2 years off of music to make sure she finished and graduated with her 4.0, and just incoming students being like, "Oh my God, it's Aaliyah!" Like, how awesome would that be? I would lose it.
Because, you know, most celebrities, they hire tutors.
Yeah, they hire tutors.
They do school online or something along those lines.
Nowadays, especially, yeah.
Well, because, you know, celebrity culture.
Yeah.
Things were a little bit different back in the 90s, which is cool. But still, that would be super cool. And it's actually super impressive that she was able to maintain that and, you know, continue a successful career.
Yeah.
Because, you know, all that stuff happened and she was still incredibly successful.
She was still incredibly successful and apparently incredibly down to earth.
Oh,
yeah, she was. I've seen reports of, I think you actually told me about this one, where a fan had seen her. And she was too afraid to go talk to her, so Aaliyah actually tracked her down.
Yeah.
To get a picture and to talk to her.
How awesome is that? That's so, like, humble. So wonderful, just so appreciative of your fan base and just knowing that, like, these are the people, the reason why you are who you are. And having so much respect for your fan base. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes me love her even more every time I hear about it. Watched so many documentaries on her in the last week.
She was an awesome human, all around awesome human. I couldn't find a single thing that anybody had to say that was bad.
The only, like, because, you know, even back in the 90s and the early 2000s, there was always rumors about people. The only rumor I found about her was that because she always had her eyes covered by sunglasses, or she had, like, a bang, her bangs combed over the side to cover her eye, there was rumors about her having a lazy eye or a glass eye. So, you know, those were the rumors about her. Whatever. Obviously not, because, you know, she went on to do movies and stuff like that where nothing was in her face and she looked just fine.
Yeah.
But still, those are the rumors.
So yeah, obviously nothing bad.
Nobody had anything bad to say.
No.
So, speaking of that, she did go on to do movies and stuff.
She did go on to do movies and stuff. And we Actually, one of our favorite movies
Of all time.
is
Romeo Must Die.
Romeo Must Die. And I just made my husband get that movie for us the other night.
Hell yeah, she did.
And we sat down and we watched that motherfucker.
We drank some dailies.
Yeah.
Frozen
wine, slushy beverages.
They were delicious.
They were delicious.
Everything I could have ever wanted. And we watched that movie and loved every second of it and danced to all the music and quoted so many of the lines because we hadn't watched it in years. I hadn't watched it since I was in high school, I think.
Yep. And the fact that some of that shit just came flooding back to me.
Came right back.
Right back.
Awesome.
When he's chasing her out of the store.
I'ma find you, Aaliyah looking ass!
That fucking made me laugh so much.
Me too. So good.
So good.
Yeah. So, that movie, if I can just, you know, if you haven't picked up on it already, explain the level of love that Jessica and I had for that movie. Holy crap, that was like our favorite movie.
Absolute favorite movie.
That was that movie that we would show our friends, and if our friends weren't paying attention enough to it or they didn't appreciate it the way that we appreciated it, we were like looking at them like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Personally attacked, personally offended. You have offended everything about my life.
Yeah, basically.
How dare you?
We
Who
would
do you
watch
think
it.
you are? That's so uncalled for.
We'd finish it and then start it over.
Hell yeah.
Like, we
Quote
loved
it.
that movie so much. And just to watch it again just brought back all of my love for her.
Uh-huh. It just goes to show that, you know, the good stuff will always be good. And that movie was damn sure good.
That movie was excellent.
One interesting fact I saw was, did you know that she was slated to play a role in the Matrix sequel?
You know, I do think I knew that. Thank you. I do think I knew that.
And she, she did an interview about it just a little bit before she died, about her role in it and how she was super excited. She made reference to the Matrix series being the Star Wars of our generation, which, I mean, I guess that goes to show you how much she loved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, she did not go on to complete that role, but that's, you know, part of why we're here talking about her.
Yes.
That just kind of leads into a little bit of a segue into what happened in the Bahamas.
I actually found a quote from her.
Oh.
That kind of, I thought was, I guess a little bit eerie is a really good word for it.
Okay.
This was about a month before she died. She talked about her favorite dream, is what it says. Somebody's following me, and I don't know why. I'm scared, and then suddenly I lift off, far away, as if I'm swimming in the air. No one can reach me. No one can touch me. It's a wonderful feeling. Like, that to me, almost like, I don't know if you...
It's kind of poetic.
It's kind of poetic, but, like, it seems almost like a premonition, if you will. Like, it seemed like she might have been dreaming about what was to come. I don't know if I believe in that, but,
I don't know if I believe in that either, but if, you know, I could see that. So, as I'm sure many of you guys know, Aaliyah went down to the Bahamas to film a video for her,
Single Rock the Boat.
yes, and that video, stunning, absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
Like, some of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen, crystal clear oceans,
God.
people on a boat.
Doesn't that sound like heaven?
They were in the Bahamas. And they had actually finished filming like a day early. So rather than getting on their actual charter flight, a new flight was chartered for them.
Yes, to leave a day earlier, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
She wanted to get home. I mean, who wouldn't? The Bahamas are beautiful and everything like that, but wouldn't you want to get home to your loved ones?
Yeah, she was there for like 3 or 4 days, I think.
Yeah,
She
filming.
probably
She
wanted
was
to get home. She
exhausted.
was really close to her family, so she probably wanted
Her
to get back and see
boyfriend?
them. Yeah.
Which he actually says that he thinks that her last words, or at least her last words to him, kind of creepy, were, "I don't like that plane." And he said to her, "Then don't get on it." And she said, "You know, I gotta do it."
That's kind of sad.
That is kind of sad.
Very sad.
Because, for those of you who don't know, which I do believe most people do know, Aaliyah, and how many people? 8 other people?
8 other people.
Got on that flight, that chartered flight. It was a twin engine Little teeny tiny putt-putt plane.
Yes, I think it was like a Cessna 402 Light something. Like it was just a tiny plane, and honestly, like, is anybody happy to see a tiny plane?
No. I don't
No,
even like regular
no.
planes. You're trying to put me on a small plane? No.
Yeah,
I understand
don't
why
like-
she was upset.
I
I wouldn't
don't
have been
like
happy
planes.
either. She got on that plane. That plane took off with way too many people and way too much weight. And I believe the distance was 200 feet. It crashed, killing everyone but I think 2
Killing
people.
everyone but 2 who later died due to injuries.
Correct. Instantly after it crashed, 200 feet from the runway.
And I believe they said that Aaliyah's cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, and then also severe burns all over her body, causing her to go into such a severe state of shock that doctors reported that there would be no way she would ever recover.
That's tragic.
That's very tragic. Like, that's super sad. I think about that and I'm just like, how, like, that's so devastating, and so devastating for her family. And
Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine?
No.
Even if it was in a split second, just how scared she was, how scared everybody was on that flight.
Oh, yeah,
like
because
her hairdresser, her makeup artist, probably people who were really close to her were on that plane with her.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely crushing.
Horrifying.
It was reported when they were doing the investigation that her crew was basically arguing with the pilot. His name was Luis Morales III. And
Ugh, we'll get into him in a second.
They were arguing with him because he was telling them that they had too many people, too much weight, that he wasn't going to do it. And they were arguing with him that they had to go. They had to go that night. It had to be done. And another pilot who witnessed this alleged argument said that they basically wore him down so that he went.
First of all,
I honestly think that this pilot was potentially trying to save face.
No.
He worked for the same company that that Mr. Morales worked for. And he was potentially trying to save face for a fellow pilot and for his company.
probably because it came out later
Yes.
that he had forged his records.
Yes. He had documented, like, I think it said thousands of hours worth of flight time that he had never completed.
Yep.
He had lied. He wasn't, like, he shouldn't have been flying a plane. I don't even think he was actually really licensed to fly a plane.
Yeah. And they did a toxicology on him.
Trace amounts of
Cocaine.
cocaine and alcohol.
Yep. And
So even if he was licensed
he
properly,
was fucking
he
intoxicated.
should not have been flying that plane.
Nope.
Not one.
Not
bit.
even a little bit. Because how the fuck are you gonna fly a plane like that with a huge superstar, knowing full well that you are not physically capable of
You were
doing
not
it?
in the right frame of mind.
No,
No, absolutely not.
not even a little bit.
There was a gentleman who actually gave a statement. He was,
This was tragic.
yeah, he worked for the same airline and he saw the plane go down. And I guess they have fire trucks stationed at airports just in case something should happen off of
Makes
the-
sense.
You know, just in case something should happen, and they can get a fire truck out there quickly, get medical help to anybody who might be injured should something happen. And he said that he saw the plane go down and he immediately jumped into the fire truck and took off to, you know, it was 200 feet away from
The
the
runway.
landing strip. Yeah, it was 200 feet
So
away.
it was right there.
It was right there, so he went to it immediately, and he said that that plane and the bodies
God.
were so disfigured.
Could you imagine the PTSD you would get from something like that?
Seeing something like that, just, and it didn't say who he had found, but he had found one of the people who was still alive, who did later die, basically screaming and begging for help.
Yep.
Which is just,
That's horrible.
that kind of gave me a pit in my stomach
Me
when I
too.
read that, and I was just like,
That has
I
got to
could
be.
not imagine what that man now lives with, you know? Just how...
Could you imagine seeing something like that? Let alone, like...
He was a first responder, and, you know, having to help with something like that, having to try to help those people.
Mm-hmm.
That was...
Could not imagine that.
Could not imagine it.
So one thing that I will never forget is being, what, 14? How old
Yeah,
were
we
you,
were
14?
14.
14 years old, visiting family in New Mexico, staying up stupid late because it was our summer vacation, so what else are we going to do with our time, right?
Yeah.
Watching MTV, because at that time, MTV would play their music videos super late at night.
Yeah, when they used to play music videos.
Yep.
I don't know if they do now, but, you know.
You just really, really dated yourself, but that's cool. I saw across the bottom of the screen, like a news flash, that was like, singer Aaliyah killed in a plane crash in the Bahamas, and I was like, what the hell? And it didn't come back. Not right away. So I was like, okay, so maybe I didn't see that right. I woke up Jessica.
Yeah, I was sleeping. She woke me up.
And we proceeded to stare at the TV.
Waiting to see it again.
Yep. And then finally, MTV News came on with that one guy. I cannot remember his name.
I want to say like Kurt Loder or
It
something.
probably was Kurt Loder. They came on and they announced it officially. And they came on and did the whole, we regret to inform you, blah, blah, blah. Singer Aaliyah has been killed in the Bahamas, etc., etc. When I tell you the emotional reaction that Jessica and I had, we cried.
Oh my god.
I don't know what it was.
We loved
Like,
her.
we
We
loved
absolutely loved her. We
her.
idolized her. And
Yeah.
then to be sitting there as it was announced that she had died. And she had died in such a horrific way.
Yeah.
Was just... I don't know. It just kind of like... I almost feel it right now. Like, kind of like it hurts.
I can't watch the music video with all the people singing her song "I Miss You"
Oh my
without
God.
crying.
That song
I
is
get
tragic.
emotional.
Yeah.
Which is super
absolutely.
weird because I don't cry over celebrity deaths. I don't know these people. I get sad, but I won't cry. Aaliyah,
Yeah.
and I think that is just because growing up, that was the impact she had on my life with her music, her movies, all of it. That's just like it, that was the impact. And so I cried.
I think we watched the news, like the whole, like all through the morning and all of that, just kind of like, it's not true, like...
Yeah, we were hoping they were going to come back on and be like, actually, she survived. Or we were misinformed. Because, like at that time, there were internet hoaxes going around, every celebrity was dying type deal. But we were hoping to God that they got it wrong.
Yeah.
Eventually, the results of the investigation started coming out.
Yes, and so along with Luis Morales III's toxicology report, it was revealed that in fact that the plane was over 700 pounds overweight. So there may be some truth to what this other pilot said about
Them trying to push her?
about them arguing about the weight of the plane and one passenger too many.
Oh, there were conspiracies about what actually happened.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Tell me about these conspiracies.
Yes, these conspiracies are one of two. Well, a bunch of two. Well, a couple of them. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. That she was actually supposed to be killed. She was supposed to be on that flight by herself. They had hired somebody to kill her. And by they, supposedly Jay-Z and Damon Dash.
Damon Dash was her boyfriend.
Correct. They founded, Jay-Z and Damon Dash founded Rockefeller Records.
Oh.
Together. And supposedly, she was supposed to be on that flight by herself. That's where, she got attacked. That's where the blunt force trauma came in. There was a fight. The fight caused the plane to go down. And then...
Interesting.
There was another one about Damon...
They just don't like him, huh?
Killing her. Yeah, no, apparently not. Killing her because she had supposedly slept with Jay-Z. And then there was another one that Jay-Z orchestrated it because they had all decided that Beyonce was going to be the queen, not Aaliyah. So apparently they had to take out the competition.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know. But that's the theory.
Okay.
Now, granted, conspiracy theories are what they are. So, what can you do?
Yeah.
Now, I believe the actual investigation.
I believe the investigation. I believe it was a combination of the two. The plane was overloaded and the pilot was intoxicated and unlicensed, unqualified. I wish that they had had the patience to wait for their flight.
So do I.
Because I think that probably we would still have Aaliyah alive
I
today.
think we would too, and I think she would potentially be the top selling female artist.
Yeah, I think so too. I absolutely agree. She would be the top selling. She is incredibly talented. She was incredibly beautiful, incredibly like generous and gifted. She was an all around amazing person.
Yeah.
So I think that there would be, you know, Aaliyah would be the top female superstar.
I do too. I also found an interesting fact in that they held her funeral in the same place that Jackie O's funeral was held.
That's kind of cool.
That is super cool.
Very, very.
I mean, sad because, you know,
deserving.
didn't want her to be dead. But also, super cool just in the fact that I mean, I don't know, she had no idea, but like to me, I was just like, wow, that's such a great honor to have your funeral held at the same place as a first lady. Like,
that would be.
And one of the most famous first ladies we've ever had.
I actually found a little quote that I want to read from a columnist, Rod Dreher.
Oh God.
He said about Aaliyah's funeral, and if you really think that talking shit about the dead is not a cool thing to do, then this will kind of piss you off. It pisses me off. He said, right, so we're all sad that Aaliyah is dead, and no one begrudges her a proper send-off, but a traffic-snarling, horse-drawn cortege in honor of a pop singer most people have never heard of, give us a break.
Suck a
Fuck
dick,
that
bro.
guy.
Suck a dick.
Absolutely fuck that guy.
Nobody's heard of you, you fucking asshole. She was one of the top freaking, like...
New York Post stood by him. Al Sharpton basically told him, how dare you determine that one life is not as important as another.
How dare you determine that one life is not as important as fucking traffic, bro? Like, come on.
I've been driving down the street and I've seen funeral processions and you pay your respects in that manner. You stop, you let them pass, you deal with it, you be 5 minutes late wherever you're going. Those people have more important things to do.
Yeah.
Than anything you could possibly have.
Correct.
Her family did sue. They filed a wrongful death suit against the airlines. I think it's called Black Hawk Airlines.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Absolutely rightfully so. They 100% had the right to that. And it was settled out of court, and I believe there were other lawsuits filed on behalf of the other family members. I couldn't really find, you know, any kind of numbers, obviously, because it was settled out of court.
Aaliyah's family has been like super private ever since.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can find her music and her music videos like on YouTube and stuff like that, of course. But like, you know, I got super disappointed one night. We were, you know, going through listening to a bunch of old music, and it clicked with me that on my Spotify, I didn't have any Aaliyah. And I was like, how the hell did that happen? And I went onto my Spotify and I tried to add her songs. Nothing.
There's nothing.
There's no,
It is on Pandora.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is that like a thing? Did she? Because I paid for Spotify and I'm not about to pay for Pandora too. Just to get Aaliyah. Like I might. Bitch, I might. But I
But
don't
she
know.
might.
Maybe it's a thing.
Maybe, Pandora paid for the rights to her music.
Maybe. Who knows? But I'm pretty disappointed because I picked the wrong platform for my music. Now, you can see even today that like Aaliyah has an impact on culture.
Yes.
There was just a MAC and Aaliyah collection. Speaking of which, I bought a lip gloss from that collection.
I passed on the MAC eyeshadows ×9, but I mean, I kind of want to go get it.
Maybe.
We found it at Ross, and I kind of want to go get it. It was only $15.
Mm-hmm. Super cheap. But yeah, so I got a lip gloss from the collection, which is super pretty. I'm not really a big lip gloss fan, but I'm a big Aaliyah fan, so I said screw it. I want something from this collection, so I got it. And I couldn't be happier because I wanted to support that collection because I will always have a soft spot in my heart for the dearest Aaliyah.
Yes, indeed.
Now, hopefully you guys also have a soft spot for Aaliyah.
She was a beautiful, like, kind, wonderful person. Her brother was quoted at her funeral saying, "Aaliyah, you left, but I'll see you always next to me, and I can see you smiling through the sunshine. When our life is over, our book is done. I hope God keeps me strong until I see her again." He also read over the names of the other victims of the crash, and her tombstone.
It says baby girl.
Yes, the inscription at the bottom of her portrait also says, "We were given a queen, we were given an angel." She was beloved. Like, there's not been a single thing about her that I've seen that anybody says, like, has a negative thing to say about her. You know, she worked with so many people who are so influential in the hip hop industry, and they still, like, to this day, they still say that they love her and they miss her. Like Missy Elliott, like Timbaland, they still talk about her and say how much they love her.
Yeah.
And what an impact they had.
She still has such a huge impact.
She's still featured in, like, so many songs. There are lyrics to songs, like rap songs and things that are being released that talk about Aaliyah. And it's like, because she was she had such an impact on the industry.
She did, and her impact, you know, it lasted. And, you know, that might have a lot to do with her death, because you don't know what would have happened if she had stayed alive.
True.
But her the impact, essentially, she became a legend.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a terrible way to become a legend, but, you know, it cemented her in history as one of the greats. And I could not agree more.
Yeah, same. I think she is one of the best female artists that we've ever had. One of the best artists we've ever had.
Yeah.
Definitely in our time, she was influential on us. We were crazy about those skirts in Romeo Must Die. The Aaliyah skirts with the splits up to on both sides. God, we want to find one. So
we're gonna find them. We really will. And I'm gonna rock that shit.
Gonna rock it. So hard.
So hard. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this first installment.
Hopefully you guys did enjoy this.
Let us know down below if there's anyone else you'd like for us to cover. And then give this video a thumbs up. Let us know you liked it. And then if you have not done so already, please feel free to click that subscribe button. Click down below. And we will see you guys very, very soon.
Very, very soon.
In the next video.
In the next one, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.